Well guys, welcome back to the channel. Glad to be here, glad you're here. In this episode we are fitting our Renogy DC to DC charger. Yes! Which is great because this means I don't need to rely on solar power, and it's the middle of the winter and it's going to snow tomorrow. So yes, this will be handy, won't it? Yes. Now I've got to figure out where I'm going to put it. Down here somewhere under the bench. But it's getting a little bit cramped for space, but we'll figure it out. Right, let's get on with that. Okay, so way earlier on my journey, I made this little kind of cupboardy shelfy thing to store the leads for the batteries, and I actually thought it would be pretty useless and defunct any longer because I have the big bench and so on. But actually, I can make use of it. Will it look pretty? No. Will anyone see it? No. It's under the bench. No one's going to care. So that's that on, and according to the instructions, the next thing I need to do is attach the battery cable, positive and negative, to the box, the batteries cables that are leading to the leisure batteries. Oh, as an aside, I bought loads of cable for this very job. Costs a small fortune, but hey, welcome to building a van. Okay, so I'm using 16mm cable, just to be safe, and this little nut, or screw should I say, that has come off the Renogy battery charger is probably a little less than a 6, as you can see, maybe, but a 6 will fit because we've got this nice big wide collar. So I've got an S16-6, the 16 being the end, the 6 being the circle on the lug. That slots into there, and then we crimp it. With my gigantic need more than one pair of hands crimpers. Now I did get these from Amazon. They're okay, but they have numbers on the end here, so you can push that and turn it around, and it'll, So I've got it on. Did have it on 6. I now have it on 6, so it's quite small. So yeah, I don't want it on 6, do I? I want it on 10, but I think last time I did put it on 6 and it worked better than 10. But no, I put it on 10 because it doesn't work as well on the 16. I don't think that's right. Get myself all confused. It's been that bloody long since I did the original video putting the batteries together. I can't remember what I put it on. Go back and have a look and come back and tell me. That's a good plan, isn't it? Now, they are a bit awkward to work with, I'm not going to lie. That was my main complaint, I think, when I used them, because you do need like 3 pairs of hands, as I say, with everything electrical, and all those wonderful boys and girls out there who are electricians, ladies and gents I really should say, all know what I'm talking about. Down we go. That should now be securely attached, and what I've forgotten to do is put my shrink wrap on, so that one will fit. Let's cheat and put it down the other end. And then I'll go and get my, there we go, it's a nice snug fit. And then I'm going to go and get my hot gun. Give me a minute. And we're back. Okay, so let's give this a blast. Done. That's now on nice and snugly. Alright, here's where we are so far. So you can see I have the negative in. That's going to go under there and through at the other end where all my other negatives come out, and I have the positive attached. So I have the positive attached to a fuse, and then the fuse wire comes down here and attaches to our positive terminal. There will be a clip around here somewhere. So let me tell you about the fuse. This is a bow jack. Inside that fuse box is a 40 amp fuse because it's a 40 amp DC to DC charger. If you've got a 20 amp one, which I think is the other one they do, but if you probably go fuzzy, it is 40 amp there. The instructions do give you the options of whichever one you have got, so just so you know. So I'm going to just show you how to set up these. I'm just going to show you how to set up this bow jack fuse. It's not difficult, but I didn't think I've ever shown it before, just so you know what you're doing. Okay, so you get these in two different parcels. They don't come together. Well, mine don't anyway. So these fuses, they come as two, and they come in a little packet. So this is another 40 amp fuse, but this is a bow jack fuse holder, and this is a bow jack fuse. So once you have somehow managed to get this off, because it is like the worst thing in the world to get off. I literally jimmy my screwdriver under there and push, and it's a bloody nightmare. It's very tight fitting, which is great, but it's hard work to get off. So you're literally going to take your nuts off the top. Don't be rude. And then we have 3 washers. So I personally leave the bottom washers on the bottom. I then put the fuse with the bar, because there's a little bar here so you can see it. I like that facing up, so if I have to look in to see if there's anything happened to the fuse, I can see. Down it goes. Now my 2 washers go back, my other 2 washers go back, and my nuts go on. Now when I am then attaching my wire, I lift these 2 washers up, attach my wire so this is in direct contact with the fuse, and then put these back on, and then put my nut back on. I'm so sorry if we're wobbling about. The wind outside is absolutely crazy. And that is basically it. That's it. And it's a safety feature. It's a safety feature that I mean, apart from Renogy saying it in their instructions that you should do, I think you should have breakers right throughout. I have, which is why it looks like spaghetti junction down there. I have breakers all the way through my electrics. So I'm going to put this fuse on. I'm going to put my nuts back on, because I want to actually attach this fuse to that side, because this fuse is now going to be the breaker for the positive battery cable that's going to go all the way to the front of the van. Oh, that's I don't know whether I mentioned it before, but the reason I got 16mm wire is because it's having to travel so far. That's one of the things I found out on research, is because the power is having to travel so far from the front of the van to the back of the van, that so you don't lose power in smaller quality wire to get the 16mm. Now, I'm not an electrician, do as you will, I'm just telling you what I discovered. Right, I'm going to get this next to that, and then I'm going to cut myself some more wire to go from the Renogy to this fuse, and then I need to get a big long length to get to the front of the van. And yes, I'm not going to do the front of the van tonight, mainly because we don't really have any lighting at the front cab, and I don't really think I want to be dodging around with the battery of the van in the dark. So I'm going to get this done now, get it all ready and wired up, thread it through the van so it's at the front, and then I'll leave it and be back in the morning when I can see my hand in front of my face. Okay, that's us all set up for the morning. We've got our 2 fuses, both connected to our positive. Then I have the negative cables. One will go to the battery, the other one is going to the front of the van. So when it's light and I can see my hand in front of my face, I'll get cracking in the morning. Well, back at it again this morning. So far I have threaded the wires through the back of the compost toilet, past this wall, through this wall, up, through, underneath and up. Yes, they're all going to get tied up, I assure you. They then go through the back of the cabinets, down the back of the last cabinet, until, where are we? Oh, there we are. Until we're down here. Okay, so I've then had to feed it into the back of my seat. It's not ideal, but again, we're on a time limit here, so I'm going to make sure that that is secure. I have fed it under the seat via that little plate here, so it's gone under that plate and is now here. And we have our negative lugged. You can't see it because the camera's going to decide to focus on the bloody background, but you know what I mean. And our negative is over there. So not ideal conditions this morning. It's very windy. We did have a flurry of snow, but I'll be honest, I've seen more white on a cat's whiskers. However, yeah, I'm not looking forward to going and having that door open and having it bashed. But you know what? It is what it is, and you've got to get on with it. It's bloody freezing. However, see this bad boy here? It's great having 2 volt. It's great having 240 electricity because I have him on full blast right now, and it's lovely and toasty in here. In fact, it's probably warmer in here than it is in the house. Right, let's get on. Right, I'm out in the cold. Ooh. So, fighting against the front door, which is just fabulous. Right, so I need to just take this bolt out. It's a little awkward one. I had to find this bolt specifically for the battery because this one didn't have one and I was in 2 minds. I do have another terminal which would be much better than this one, but yeah, you know, just careful here, threading that underneath, and then, yeah, it's all good. Now, give this some work to manoeuvre, again, get my nut in place, start. This would be better with a washer, but I don't have one for these bolts, but maybe something to find here. It's really awkward, but it'll have to do. Right, okay, so we've got a nice good tight connection there. It's not ideal, like I say. If I had a washer it would be better, but I will figure that out later. Right, so that's the negative in. I just have to do that same thing, feed the positive cable through down here, get a lug on it, and then I'll attach it to here. There we go. Put this boy in here. So I'm going to feed it underneath. Right, top tip, if you have, which you should have done last night, as I did last night, have connected your positive to your battery, disconnect it, because even if your battery still has, your leisure battery should probably, as mine does, have charge in it, so you're still connected to another battery and you will get a shock. So I've gone up the van, I've disconnected this positive terminal from the Renogy battery charger, because then there's a break in the connection that leads to my batteries, and therefore you won't get electrocuted, you know, which is always a bonus. Do it this way, or should I maybe put it over the top? No, let's do this, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. So again, we have got plenty of contact there, even though, well, actually that bolt was an 8. So we have plenty of contact on both. So now we'll go back, attach the positive back to the battery charger, DC charger, and see what happens. So like I said, and I have the lights off currently, like I said, I don't even see that, this little one here, I disconnected it whilst I connected the battery up. So if I connect this now and then turn on the power, something should happen, right? Okay, so my lights all came on as I was screwing that in. A little bit of a crackle there. That's, I haven't got the power on. I have no lights on. It's very dark in here. So now I am going to switch the power on, and we can see what the bloody hell we're doing. Okay, so we've got the battery, and we've got the type, and we've got the fault. I now need to go and have a look at the Renogy book to see what happens next, because I don't think anything happens apart from when I start the engine. Okay, so upon installing the battery charger, I have to set a correct battery type by using the battery type setting button, which is this one. Now red, according to this, means flooded battery. Well, I don't have a flooded battery, I have a sealed lead acid battery, so that's what I have, a green one. So I'll show you now. Okay, so this is one of the pages, and it gives you a list of your battery type, so you just press that button until you get to it, I assume. Okay, a couple of other things that I haven't mentioned about this battery charger yet. So first of all, we have this cable, which is an ignition cable that you would attach to your alternator if you had a smart alternator. And with the Renogy thing, I don't have this a thing you can attach that you get Bluetooth. We'll probably get it, but I didn't get it at the time. I bought this ages ago and it's been sat in a box in a drawer for forever waiting to be installed. So I don't have a smart alternator, so that's no use to me. This is a battery temperature sensor, which I'm actually going to put down there because it will be handy to have. And again, it goes, I think it attaches via Bluetooth to let you know the temperature of your batteries. You can monitor the battery charger by getting a BT2, it's an accessory, a BT2 attachment. That's probably blurry because I'm running too close. One of those guys. So yeah, that's next on the list to get one of those, because then it will be really handy to have it on your telephone. Okay, I have just done our final step, which is attaching the negative to the other end of the batteries. I couldn't take you out there because, quite frankly, the camera would end up in the Isle of Man. What I am going to do is turn the engine over and See if anything exciting happens. I don't think it will. I think it's just now going to stay like this, and when the engine turns over, we're going to have our batteries charged. Yeah, nothing happened. That's the engine on. The good thing is she started, so I didn't do anything bad to the battery. Woohoo! That's a bonus. And yeah, that's me really. I've just got a whole mess to clean up now because there's all that front needs putting back in place and all this bits and pieces of crap needs to go somewhere. So I will say farewell. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, oh, that flashed. That must mean it's charging. I assume it means it's charging. Yes, that's excellent. Yeehaw. I didn't expect that to happen right in the middle of my conclusion. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a say hello and whatever in the comments. Always love to read your comments. And always remember, you're never too old. Bye.